What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and today we're going to be talking about 357 SIG. So like I said, sorry 9mm guys. One thing I always hear is people talk about 9mm, 9mm plus P, and they talk about how it's the best round for everyday carry. And I can agree, most of my carry firearms are in 9mm. But at the same time, there are other options out there that are a little bit less popular, but are honestly better. And for me, when it comes down to my life, my family's life and stuff like that, especially in times like winter where people are wearing jackets, bibs, hoodies, layers, stuff like that, you want something a bit more powerful so that hollow point doesn't get caught up the way it would with a lesser powered round. So what is 357 SIG? It is a bottleneck cartridge where the projectile is basically a 9mm, but the casing is 40. So it looks sort of funky. It's a tiny round and then it gets wider with that casing. So you're getting all that extra power from the powder, allowing for that 9mm projectile to absolutely fly. And 357 SIG was basically developed to reach velocities similar to 357 Magnum, but out of a semi-automatic platform. But before we get started, hit the like button, drop a comment down below, and subscribe. This is a viewer requested video, so if you have any requests or anything like that, I do my best to try and get to them. You can drop it in the comments. Usually if I respond to you, that means I add it to the list, and I'm going to work on getting it done for you. So 357 SIG, this right here is an M&P 40 Shield 2.0, but it's converted to 357 SIG using a simple conversion barrel. Now what's nice about the Smith & Wessons is you get to use the same exact mags from your 40, so you don't have to go out and buy extra mags or different mags for 357 SIGs. They don't even make them. Stuff like Glock, their Glock 33 for example, which is the same size as a Glock 26 or a Glock 27, they make 357 SIG magazines. And what's nice is with the Glock 33, you have the larger 357 mags, right? So you can run the flush mag, but you can also, all the base plates that work for the 40s work for 357 SIG. All the larger, like the Glock 32 I believe is 357 SIG, that's your equivalent to like a Glock 19 to a Glock 26. Those mags will run just fine in your smaller subcompact. So you have a lot of options out there. And basically, the only options that are made today are some Sig Sauers in 357 SIG, of course, because they are the ones who developed the round. And on top of that, you will find the Glock 33 Gen 3, the Glock 32 Gen 3, and the one other 357 SIG Glock there is, which is the larger, and I just can't think of which number it is right now. But how is it with recoil? So you have 9mm. 9mm is so easy to shoot, so flat, very little recoil. And then you have 40. 40, you feel it in your hand, especially in the subcompact. You can feel that power. Same with 10mm, you feel the power. 10mm is not even close to these two rounds we're going to be talking about. But 40 is going to be a bit snappy out of a smaller firearm. What I like about 357 SIG is it's not as snappy. You still feel that power, but you have very little muzzle flip. It's basically just straight recoil going into your hand, but it's very flat shooting. I have a video of me, if you guys want to look it up. Type in Spin Firearms shooting 9mm, 357 SIG, 40, 45 GEP, and 10mm. I shoot them all in a line, so you can see the recoil compared to similar platforms and similar size firearms. And you'll notice I absolutely love 357 SIG. It has beast power. And I'm going to refer you guys to Chook Outdoors. That's one of my favorite YouTube channels. He's out there in Alaska, does a lot of cool stuff. If you like Bigfoot, or if you're interested in Bigfoot or weird things that happen in Alaska, he has a full series on it. And it's actually very interesting to watch and fun to watch. I don't know if I'm a believer of Bigfoot, but it's still interesting. But he has the same setup. He is the Shield 2.0 in 40 with the Rem Sport 357 SIG barrel and a hoe grip. And he tested it with gold dots and I believe HSTs, and the performance out of a gold dot, which I don't even think is plus P rated, out of a 3.1 inch barrel, outperformed 9mm plus P ammo and regular 9mm defensive ammo out of 4 inch and 4.5 inch barrels. The velocity was insane out of this very short barreled firearm. It was unbelievable. So before you get, on me about, oh, the round is, nobody carries it, no one buys it, you can find 357 SIG ammo all over the internet. You can find almost any hollow point. You have no trouble getting Underwood Extreme Defenders, Civil Liberty Defense rounds. When you get the Civil Liberty Defense rounds, they hit up to 2,400 feet per second out of a 4.5 inch barrel. Out of a 3.1 inch barrel, you're probably looking at 1900 feet per second. That's absolutely insane. And then on top of that, if you get the Underwood Extreme Defenders, they're somewhere up like 1550 or 1600. So you'll probably be at about 1400 out of a shorter barrel, but you're getting a full weight projectile, maybe a little lighter, but at the same time, it's not even a hollow point. It's just a solid copper projectile. So those are just great ways to go to carry. What do I carry right now? I'm carrying Civil Liberty Defense rounds. It makes a very light package, but the power is just undeniable. So when you're comparing 9mm and 357 SIG, they really aren't comparable. Yes, the projectile size is the same, but the speed is unbelievable. Think about getting 1500, 1400, 1600 feet per second out of a 3.1 inch barrel. That's insane. You're not going to be getting that with 9mm hollow points, even with some plus P rounds. You won't be reaching that with a short-barreled firearm. So it's an absolute beast. So what are your options? Basically any Smith & Wesson chambered in .40, any Glock chambered in .40, any SIG chambered in .40. And what you do is you just buy a conversion barrel. It's simple. You don't need to change anything out in the firearm. And like with my Smith & Wesson, like I said, I just use my .40 mags and they run flawlessly. Like my Smith & Wesson M&P 40C, which is a subcompact, it's very similar to the Glock 27. You can convert that into a 357C, right? Same with my Glock 27. I can convert down. You can't convert up. And the reason why you can't convert up is if this was a 9mm, that barrel would fit the projectile, but the problem is when it's seated and chambered in that barrel, that casing will not go in there. So basically the only thing you have to change is that barrel out. And what's nice about getting 40s is you can do 40, 357 SIG, and 9mm, and a lot of different firearms offer 22 conversion barrel slides and stuff like that for it. So you can basically get 4 different rounds and calibers out of one firearm. That's why I buy a lot of 40s. I absolutely love it. But 357 SIG, like I said, the recoil is somewhere in between 9mm and 40. And so it's very manageable, plus you're getting all that power, plus nobody carries or buys 357 SIG. You can literally find the ammo anywhere. You can get all sorts of hollow points, and like I said, the velocities are unreal. The foot-pound energy is unbelievable, and you can do it out of a very small, compact firearm. Now you're going to say, oh, capacity in the setup. Yes, but 7+1 in the setup is a beast of a setup because this is my work carry. It's very thin, very light, very easy to carry, but you have that awesome power behind it, right? So this is my work carry, like I said. But I often carry my Glock 33. That's going to be with the base plate, 10+1 of 357 SIG. That is an unbelievable setup. And like I said, you're getting less recoil than that 40, and you're getting amazing, amazing power behind it. So nowadays, a lot of manufacturers aren't still producing it other than Glock and SIG when it comes to firearms actually chambered right out of the box in 357 SIG. But like I said, KKM Precision, Rem Sport, Storm Lake, Barstow, the good, top-notch, high-quality barrel makers all have the conversion barrels. If you go on KKM Precision, it is hard to find the barrel that you're looking for. They literally have every conversion, every Glock, every SIG, every Smith & Wesson, every barrel you can imagine they have ready to go, and they also have the conversion barrel style. So that's absolutely awesome. It's a great way to go. Sorry 9mm guys, 357 SIG is just better. Thanks for watching.